Welcome back. Welcome back. Your man, Diamond K, in here, radioonfire.com, the Diamond K Show.com. So much to get into, so much to talk about. COVID-19 vaccine shipments have begun their historic U.S. effort. So the first of many these freezer-packed COVID-19 vaccine vials are making their way to distribution sites across this country. Are you going to take this vaccine? Half Americans, half of the American population is up in the air about it. I'm one of those people up in the air about it. The nation's pandemic, the deaths have approached a very scary milestone. We're almost at 300,000 deaths in the United States. So we're going to talk about that. This rollout with this Pfizer vaccine, the first to be approved by the FDA, among a cloud of cloud of doubt. But this is the biggest vaccination effort in this nation's history. One that health officials are hoping Americans are going to embrace. They want Americans to take this vaccine. They do. Even though people have voiced skepticism. A lot of people don't trust vaccines. Don't trust what the government is telling us. And it's so surprising that I hear people say they don't know why Americans are distrustful of this vaccine. So the first of 2 shots are expected to be given this week to healthcare workers and nursing home residents. So this is who they're experimenting on first. I mean, the quick transport is very important for this vaccine. The vaccine has to be stored at extremely low temperatures. Extremely low. Super cold. About 94 degrees below zero. This vaccine has to be at that temperature. So early Sunday, today, workers at Pfizer, dressed in some bright yellow clothes, hard hats, gloves, and got to work packing the vials in the boxes, like Nino's at the Carter. So they scanned these boxes, placed them in the freezer cases with some dry ice to keep this cold. Because that's the thing with this. It has to stay at these very cold temperatures. So they're taken from Pfizer and taken to the airport. And the first cargo plane took off. And they say that people are excited. The workers were excited. Talking about the historic nature of the day. So, overseeing the operation in America for FedEx Express. So FedEx is delivering 630 some packages of vaccine to distribution sites across the country. UPS is also shipping its own share of the vaccine. So that's where we are. They have GPS sensors on them, so don't get any funny ideas about that. Initial shipments expected to contain about 3 million doses, with many more to come. This is far less than what they promised initially, but it is what it is, right? And especially since everybody ain't trying to take it just yet. Kind of want to see what happens. So federal officials say that the first shipment of Pfizer's vaccine will be staggered, arriving at 145 distribution centers tomorrow, with another 425 sites getting shipments on Tuesday, the remaining 66 on Wednesday. Doses of this vaccine, co-developed by German partner BioNTech, are given out based on each state's adult population. Then the states decide where they go first. Adult population, that's important because young children are not supposed to take this vaccine. And that's assuming that adults are supposed to take it. In California, where healthcare workers will be among the first vaccinated, state health officials are prioritizing hospitals that have the necessary storage capacity. High-risk populations will also have the availability to get vaccinated. So surveys initially have found that some of the healthcare workers don't want to be first in line. Oh, no. Let somebody else go before me. So that doesn't do much for quelling concern that people may have about this vaccine. Yes, we want the pandemic to be over, but a vaccine that has been in preparation for 10 months, when they don't know whether it's even going to be required yearly ever again. There's so much that they don't know. And this is, make sure people understand, this is not the cure, right? It's not the cure. There's so many things that they don't know because there hasn't been a lot of time to observe. And so when you hear somebody like Trump talking about, oh, well, I rushed things down and I helped things out, it was a slow turtle. The reason why the process is so slow is because you need to observe and find out what are the repercussions for taking this vaccine. The fact that Trump allegedly pressured the FDA to push this through, that does not help get Americans fully on board. And some people are willing to take anything, do anything. Some people just don't care. Some people remember the history of this country with regards to vaccinations and what they did to black people in this country. So there is confusion in the minds of people with regards to this. There is confusion, and it's justified. And the burden is on America to quell this concern. So you have Moderna, AstraZeneca. It's a remarkable achievement if it works, if it's safe. And we're going to see that other countries starting to take this as well. And then let's also keep in mind that Pfizer is a business. They're making contracts with countries around the world. They are selling something, right? They're not giving this away to these countries. They're selling it. This is a business. It's in their best interest to get their products on the shelves. So yes, you do want it to be safe, but this is a money grab for them. And the first one in the marketplace is not necessarily going to be the best one. It's a 2-shot solution. Allegedly solution. I'm going to use that word solution in air quotes because we don't know if it's really going to solve anything. They claim that they need 75% of this country vaccinated to have what they've been touting, which is called herd immunity. But I'm telling you that 50% of the country ain't trying to take this. Either outright they say no, or they're just not sure. But 50% of this country is not on board with this. And then you have so many conspiracies floating around the internet. I had one girl tell me that the 5G is tracking us when you take the vaccine. Just all kind of foolishness. Something she saw on Messenger. So she shows it to me. I said, what is this? This person's, it just, the source of the information was not reliable. Person that was revealing the information was sitting in their bathroom. I don't know for sure if they were on the commode, but it looked like they were. So much crap they were talking. So you have real concerns mixed with outrageous claims, and that's what we have. Outrageous claims. But regardless, the vaccine shipments have begun in this country. Vaccines for COVID-19 as this horrifying milestone. 300,000 dead Americans. As we're at that point, this vaccine cometh. Just in time for Christmas, vaccine. Get your vaccine just in time for Christmas. This doesn't seem strange to you? Timing. Timing's everything. Just for the end of the year, they have this alleged vaccine ready. We'll see. We'll see. It's definitely going to be some time before I would even consider something like this. But, if you want to take the vaccine, by all means, don't let me stop you. I just want people to be mindful. There were talks about the allergic reaction to the vaccine. Many of the people that they've pushed out in front of the media to talk about it, they can't really speak on it because they don't know. So they've been telling people to go to their website. Go to the website and read up. And you on your own, you figure out whether or not you're allergic. Or whether you think you're allergic to it. That's what they're telling. That's what the doctors are telling people because they got the money from the government already. They good. They're good. I just think that the whole way that this is being rolled out is very, very peculiar. So Pfizer and BioNTech, the vaccine candidate against COVID-19, achieved success in the first interim analysis from phase 3 study. This was in November. So this quickly, they've moved up. So this is according to their website. You can go Pfizer.com. According to Pfizer.com, the vaccine candidate was found to be more than 90% effective in preventing COVID-19 in participants without evidence of prior SARS-CoV-2 infection in the first interim efficacy analysis. So this was 90% effective in preventing COVID-19 in participants without prior SARS-CoV. So what about people that have already had it? Oh, wait, we don't have no information on that. So the analysis evaluated 94 confirmed cases of COVID in trial participants. Let me say that again. This is per Pfizer's website. The analysis evaluated 94 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in trial participants. So the study enrolled 43,538 participants. And out of that, 94 confirmed cases, with 42% having diverse backgrounds. Of course, they have diverse backgrounds, of course. No serious safety concerns have been observed per Pfizer. Safety and additional efficacy data continue to be collected. So you're saying there could be some more safety concerns. Could be some safety concerns. but we don't know yet. So maybe the next day there were some, but as of today, none. So they went through this press release. They released this press release back in November. And here we are, a little bit over. It was November the 9th. So a little bit over that, they're ready to hit the market. It's just very, very fast for me. You ever have a friend date somebody, and then within a couple of weeks, they're married? You say, wait, slow down. You're moving too fast. Come on, man. You don't even know her. You don't know her like that. We don't know this vaccine like that. And it's already in market. And they're like, oh, it's a big celebration. The vaccine's coming. V-Day. Do you watch these commercials on TV where they say, if you took this medicine, we're having a class action lawsuit, and call us up, and lawyers representing people for taking something. And you're like, wait, I heard of that medicine before. You know what I mean? And this is a possibility. Now, yes, we want the pandemic to be over with, but we have to be very mindful. Very mindful. So Pfizer, this is on Pfizer's website. You can read it for yourself. Pfizer.com, Pfizer.com. That's where I'm reading from. This is the creator of this vaccine. They have a statement about midway through on the news page. And it says Pfizer disclosure notice. Let me read this to you. It says the information contained in this release is as of November 9th, 2020. Pfizer assumes no obligation to update forward-looking statements contained in this release as the result of new information or future events or developments. So if things change, it's not our fault, is what they're saying. Nobody wants accountability at all. Nobody feels that they should have accountability. So whether it's Mitch McConnell trying to get large corporations and businesses not to be held liable if their employees get COVID, the manufacturer of the vaccine doesn't want responsibilities either. And further down the line, if people are having issues with this vaccine, they're going to have something to make sure that they're not liable. I guarantee you that. When they're reading statements like that on their website. So on the homepage, Pfizer.com, they have right at the top, a historic first. U.S. FDA authorizes Pfizer and BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use in the prevention of COVID-19 for ages 16 and up. So I want to make sure that you understand that. Emergency use. So, interesting, play with words. Right below that, it says the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine has not been approved or licensed by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, but has been authorized for emergency use by the FDA under an emergency use authorization, EUA, to prevent coronavirus disease, 2019, COVID-19, for use in individuals 16 years of age and older. The emergency use of this product is only authorized for the duration of the declaration that circumstances exist justifying the authorization of emergency use of the medical product under Section 564B, Section B, 1 of the FD&C Act, unless the declaration is terminated or authorization revoked sooner. So there's a lot of words. But the main takeaway from that is that this vaccine has not been approved or licensed by the FDA. It has been authorized for emergency use. for emergency use. So we're going to see what happens with this. And like I said, we want this to be behind us. We do. But how far are people willing to go? And I don't want just regular Americans to be guinea pigs. I don't have anything against guinea pigs, the actual animal. I'm talking about Americans being used. So I know people that have COVID-19 actively. I know people, family members that have died from COVID-19. Friends who died from COVID-19. And you bare minimum know someone that's had it. So I am someone who is hoping and pulling and praying that we get on the other side of this. But I don't want us to take any shortcuts. I want everybody to be here next year. As many people as possible. And I don't want people going by the wayside because of some rush to market product that is promoted in the guise of helping get this pandemic under heel. You know what I'm saying? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Take a quick break. I want to come back. I want to talk about the MAGA folks. Maybe it was the Proud Boys going to D.C. Got to keep going to D.C. Got to support the president. He's only going to be the president for 20 more minutes, all right? Only going to be the president for 20 more minutes. But anyway, more foolishness in D.C. Not sure when these guys are going to get the message. But a historic D.C. black church, multiple churches, attacked during this pro-Trump rally yesterday. Oh, you're real brave to attack a church, right? Really brave, attacking a church. So we take a quick break. 30 seconds, come back. More of the program. So we're back. Your man Diamond K in here. RadioOnFire.com, TheDiamondKShow.com. Historic black churches in Washington, D.C. were attacked during some pro-Trump rallies yesterday. And as I said on the other side, you're big and bad attacking a church, right? So a Black Lives Matter banner and a sign torn down, destroyed from two historic black churches in downtown Washington, D.C. So police authorities say that they are investigating this as potential hate crimes. It's on video. In one of the incidents, which was posted to Twitter, it shows a group of people identified as Proud Boys marching with a Black Lives Matter banner held above their heads, then cheering as it is set on fire. Then they're chanting F Antifa. So that banner was taken from the Asbury United Methodist Church, one of the oldest black churches in Washington, D.C. The United Methodist Church, this Asbury Church, Asbury United, has stood at the corner of 11th and K Street Northwest since 1836. So the reverend of that church released a statement and said that last night demonstrators who were part of the MAGA gatherings tore down our Black Lives Matter sign and literally burned it in the street. He's the senior pastor at this church, Reverend Mills. Said that it pained me, especially to see our name, Asbury, in flames. For me, it was reminiscent of cross burnings. Cross burnings. So as I said, this was the Proud Boys, someone who President Trump shouted out during a debate. Soon to be former president, one-timer. So another video posted on Twitter shows a Black Lives Matter sign being torn down in front of the Metropolitan African Methodist Episcopal Church at 15th and M Streets, also in Northwest DC. The group is heard chanting, "Whose streets? Our streets," as they destroy the sign in front of the church, where worshipers have included historic, legendary leaders like Frederick Douglass and former presidents like Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, even William Howard Taft. Former presidents attended that church. So anyway, it is this is where we are today. This is where we are. And I've said it many times. President Trump has himself to blame for his loss. Had he handled this pandemic in a responsible manner, in a serious manner, he, quite frankly, quite possibly could have been reelected. Many people ask, why is the president acting like this? Why won't he just accept the fact that he lost? The reason why he won't accept the fact that he lost is because he did everything he thought to ensure he was going to win. But he did everything but help the American people, right? He helped himself, he helped his kids, he helped his organization, and some of the other folks in his crime syndicate. But he did not help the American people. And this energized the American people to vote him out. He did this himself. And so some of his supporters, these supporters don't even understand that this man does not care about them. It's clear that he doesn't care about Americans. And like them or not, the Proud Boys are Americans. And I don't like them. But they are Americans. The president does not care about any of us. And it just so happens that 80 million people saw through that and have voted him out. The other 70 some million, they don't know that yet. Y'all don't know that yet, but it's true. So we can disagree politically, and that's fine. But understand this. President Trump does not care about any of us. That's the right or the left. That's pro-Trump, anti-Trump. He doesn't care. He will leave office next month. And maybe he will stay in the background. Maybe he'll fade away. I don't know. But life will go on. Americans have to come back together. I say back together because we have to be more together than we were previously. We have to be. This country is not going to split into pieces. It's not. But anyway, thousands of people marched yesterday in support of a president who's done nothing but lie, cheat, and steal. And then he has the nerve to have a slogan of "Stop the Steal" when he's one of the biggest thieves we've ever heard about. The irony there. The irony there. So also multiple people stabbed after thousands gathered for this pro-Trump demonstration in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Thousands of maskless, don't even get me started on that. Maskless rally goers who have refused to accept the results of the election. So they're in downtown D.C. and they're energized by falsehoods, aka lies. So they're down here talking their talk 2 days after the Electoral College 2 days before the Electoral College will make the president's loss official. And I think that part of the problem is that 2016, many Democrats were calling for the end of the Electoral College process. I remember the 2016 election very clearly. It was a sad night. And many Trump supporters feel the same way Hillary Clinton supporters felt. But the difference, and there's a difference, many of them thought that this Trump presidency in 2016 was going to be the end of everything. As much as we buckled, as much as the economy has tanked, as much death that we've seen across this country, we are still here. Even after one of the worst presidents you've heard about, Donald Trump. So Republicans, Trump supporters, on the verge of Joe Biden's presidency, the country is going to survive. And just because you don't agree with Biden's philosophies, so you think, the country is still going to survive. And you'll have the opportunity to vote again in 4 years. And we'll see what happens. But there is no need for scenes of violence over these political issues, political differences. At least 4 people stabbed near Harry's Bar at 11th and F Streets Northwest. That was a gathering point for the Proud Boys. This organization has ties to white nationalism, white supremacy, whole bunch of causes that are less than something to make your family proud. They need another name. So victims hospitalized suffered possibly life-threatening injuries in D.C. So it is not immediately clear which groups the attackers or the injured might have been affiliated with. We don't know that part just yet. But the violence escalated after an evening of face-offs with counter-protesters that took place near Harry's, Black Lives Matter Plaza, Franklin Square, and other spots in and around downtown D.C. So it was, you talk about Antifa, but one of the Proud Boys shouted out, "Both sides of the aisle hate you now. Congratulations." The Proud Boys shouted at officers. So they were saying that Trump supporters and anti-Trump supporters both hate the police. That's what he was trying to say. Before long, the agitators, determined to find some trouble, were actually successful, causing confusion, posturing, and quickly fighting, wrestling, kicking, punching. Officers swarmed, firing some chemical irritants, tear gas, something, and forming lines. At Harry's bar, an ambulance arrived. It was mass confusion. Not the place you wanted to be. You were, walking around. Not that you would have been. DC cops said that as of 9 p.m., 23 people were arrested, including 10 who were charged with misdemeanor assault, 6 with assaulting police officers, and 4 with rioting. Police said one person had an illegal taser. So I hear the right. I heard the right talking all this talk when Black Lives Matter and other people were protesting the killings of unarmed Americans, Black Americans, at the hands of the police, and they took to the streets. People on the right, Fox News types and Laura Ingraham and Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh, these folks were talking about the protesters in the street. Had a whole lot to say. But they don't have anything to say about this. And I'm sure as the days turn to weeks and end the Trump experiment, we're going to have more demonstrations like this. Are my conservative counterparts going to have something to say about that? Probably not. Probably not. The hypocrisy among conservatives in this country is problematic. You say something about Black Lives Matter, but these type of violent demonstrations, quiet, nothing to say. 2 officers were hospitalized with small injuries during the clashes at 16th and K Street Northwest, police say. In all, police say that 8 people, including the 4 stabbing victims and 2 officers, were injured. So the scuffles continued late into the night. If you remember, this group received recognition from Donald Trump during a presidential debate. So he's trying something, and it's all un-American what he's trying to do. You can rally all you want. People can rally all they want. The majority white crowd ranged from gray-haired men and women in red hats to children in wagons, one of whom chanted 100 more years. Well, let me inform you, youngster, Donald Trump is out of here January the 20th. As the nation watches Joe Biden's transition, rising coronavirus cases, and a air quotes vaccine development, Trump's attempts to maintain power have been played out. They're playing out, but it's played out. There's nothing else. Even to his most dedicated supporters, you got to understand. he's continually claiming, falsely lying, that the election was stolen from him. It was not stolen from him. But the more he says these things, the more he puts a battery in the back of his supporters, his faithful, his sheep, who really think something's gone, happened to him wrong. They really think that he's been wronged. Since the election, he has raised over $250 million from people who really believe the con. Oh, and it is a con. He's a con man. He's a con man. Now, I don't know whether or not people will actually react when they find out he's been conning them all this time. Or maybe they'll try to blame that on Obama or Biden or something. Very sad. Very, very sad. And these people are walking around raising families, raising kids, and all that. Just tune in, it's your man Diamond K in here, radiofire.com, the Diamond K Show.com. Daily, 7 p.m. I am here. Of course, if you miss any episodes of the show, you can always go to radioonfire.com. Anywhere you can get podcasts, just search The Diamond K Show. Also on youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. youtube.com/Radio on Fire. Absolutely. Let's do this. Take a quick break. Come back with more of the show after this. And we are back. The Diamond K Show, 7 p.m. daily. A girl, 10 years old, suffers an injury after two groups shot at each other in Baltimore yesterday. 10-year-old girl suffering this head injury. So it was a group of dirt bikers. And another group of people began shooting at each other in Southwest Baltimore. Cops say that officers were called around 7:15 yesterday to the 4100 block of Frederick Avenue to investigate a shooting. So the shooting was reported. Police come out. Police said that a group of men, males, young men riding dirt bikes, and another group of men began shooting at each other. So a mother and her 10-year-old daughter were walking in the area, and the child suffered a head injury during this fracas. Sadly. So the mom and her child went home, called 911. Kid was taken to the hospital. So we do not know right now whether the girl suffered a graze wound from the gunfire or a laceration when trying to get away. Did she fall down and hit her head? That part we don't know. Mayor Scott and City Councilman Burnett, this is something that took place in his district, Burnett's district, were at the scene and said that anyone, of course, who knows anything needs to speak up. Somebody needs to say something. The mayor, Mayor Brandon Scott, said this: someone needs to man up. This 10-year-old girl, we still don't know yet if she was shot or not. But she was out there. People were shooting, and they chose to shoot knowing she was standing there. That's unacceptable. Somebody needs to man up, whether you were out there being shot at or shooting. Do the right thing. Know that this young girl had nothing to do with your little petty stupid beef. Know that and man up and do the right thing, the mayor says. Anyone with information, of course, is asked to call the police 410-396-2488 or Metro Crime Stoppers 866-7-LOCK-UP. I mean, you hate to hear when stuff like this happens. So we are praying that everything is okay with the young girl. And, it is, I understand that people are frustrated. I understand, obviously, that the pandemic is taking a toll. Here in Baltimore and many other cities, the dirt bike culture is embedded. So this is probably something that's not going to be going away anytime soon as far as dirt bikes. And disagreements with men, something that's been around since the beginning of time. But we got to find a better way to diffuse our situations. And they're going to be situations. Got to find a better way. Because I'm sure that the dirt bikers and the other gentlemen did not want this 10-year-old girl hurt. I think we can agree on that. I definitely think we can agree on that. Your man Don McKay in here, radioonfire.com, the Don McKay Show.com, and we've been talking about a gang of things. But that's what we do here. Talk about various topics. Radio on Fire, of course, where politics and hip-hop culture meet. I'm here daily, 7 p.m., giving you my commentary on politics, breaking news, entertainment, all from my very, very unique perspective. Now, as for the other programs that we have here, and there are several, mainstream media often promotes misinformation. Radio on Fire provides Americans with unapologetic, progressive news coverage and opinion. Our outlet challenges the establishment and provides a platform for people to demand positive change while speaking truth to power. So that needs to be said. We'll be back right after this. So Tyler Perry has donated $100K to Breonna Taylor's boyfriend. This is for his legal defense. Good news there. This is money being put to good use. So previously it was revealed that the boyfriend of Breonna Taylor, Kenneth Walker, had a lawsuit. So crazy. One of the police officers who raided the home that resulted in the death of his girlfriend, Breonna Taylor, the cops are suing her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. So Walker needs major help, major money for his defense. So now it is coming out that Walker just got a massive donation to his GoFundMe from the legend Tyler Perry. So Tyler Perry donated a total of $100,000 to his defense fund, which was sitting idle at around $10,000. So the lawsuit in question involves Jonathan Mattingly, who was shot during the raid, as well, as the crossfire. Mattingly is suing for trauma and emotional distress. I mean, it sounds so crazy. It sounds so crazy that one of the officers in this raid that should have never happened is suing one of the victims. So he filed this civil suit back in October for emotional distress, assault, and battery. This police officer who was involved in this illegal raid claims that he's experienced severe trauma, mental anguish, and emotional distress from Kenneth Walker's actions on the night of Breonna Taylor's death. Talk about adding insult to injury. So let's recap this. When Mattingly and the other Louisville officers busted open Breonna Taylor's apartment door, Kenneth Walker believed the cops to be intruders. He was a licensed gun owner. He fired a warning shot, which the investigators believe hit Mattingly in the leg. How many people have these officers hit in the leg, or in the case of Breonna Taylor, hit and killed? So in the lawsuit, his attorney, the cop's attorney, argues that the emotional distress stems from Walker allegedly shooting him during the raid. How many people have these officers killed in a raid? How many people have they shot in a raid? This officer, this trained officer, so-called officer of the peace, is suing one of the victims. His attorney claims Mattingly was shot and nearly killed by Kenneth Walker. He is entitled to and should use the legal process to seek a remedy for that injury that Walker caused him. Walker did not cause him that injury. The officers barging into their house is what caused the injury. Kenneth Walker was standing his ground. Ain't that what they say? Standing his ground? This is outrageous. I'm very glad that Tyler Perry donated this money. And we hear all these people talking trash about Tyler Perry. Right? But he's somebody who's put numerous times put his money where his mouth is, while other people just talk. Your so-called entertainers is keeping it real. There are many that do it, that put their money where their mouth is. But Tyler Perry is also one of them. So show some respect for the brother Tyler Perry. Walker's attorney also fired back at the foolishness by Mattingly and his lawyer, firing back and calling the lawsuit baseless, a baseless attempt to further victimize and harass Mr. Walker, who was acting lawfully in his self-defense. I agree with that 100%. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Before we get out of here, I have got to talk about this. Shifting gears. So the Ashanti Keisha Cole versus postponed until January the 9th because of Ashanti's COVID-19. And So that was a sad thing, but we want Ashanti to be healthy. So, you know, not only Ashanti, but all the other makeup artists and camera people, everyone that has to be involved in this presentation. We want to make sure that everybody's healthy. So Ashanti's not ready. She needs time. Today, it has been announced by Versus, who is man, they keep doing it. They keep doing it. Some exciting news just announced that West Coast hip hop legends Too Short and E40 will be closing out the year with a head-to-head. I mean, this is, for me, I am very excited about this. Too Short, legend. E40, legend. I listened to both of these artists growing up. Big fans. As far as Baltimore goes, I was the first DJ in Baltimore playing E40 in 1993. Okay? That's how far I go back. So I'm excited about these two. Thankfully, we have Too Short and E40 verses to look forward to as this year closes out. And it's been a hard year. 2020 has been a hard year. So these two pioneers are set to go head-to-head this Saturday, December the 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's when it's going down. Of course, on Versus TV's Instagram, on Apple Music, you'll be able to see this. I am so excited. The amount of classic music between these two rap legends is the face-off. It is going to be, it's going to be one for the ages. Legends of the Bay. E40 versus Too Short. Of course, drinks by Ciroc. Versus had to do a big holiday party. So who you got? Who you with? E40 and Too Short. So I think that this Legends of the Bay is something that it's only right. I don't know if I could see anybody that Too Short would match up with aside from E40. Yeah, it is just the players in the house. So I don't know. Who do you think? This is going to be a good one. This is definitely the stories that these two can tell. I don't know. I cannot pick a winner. Both of these guys have been in the game since the 80s. Both of these guys have been at it since the 80s. The amount of music that these two have. But if you're not a fan of the West Coast, you may not get this one. You may not get this one. So it is. This is gonna be a good one. I'm telling you the stories that they're gonna tell, and then these two guys love each other. So it's gonna be a celebration. It's not gonna be no crazy energy. It's gonna be all love and great energy. And it's gonna be great energy, and that's what it's about. Because all of these, the fans are the real winners. The fans turn out to be the real winners in all of these verses celebrations, and that's what they are. They're celebrations. So, also Christmas night here on Radio on Fire, 6 p.m. the Jingle Jam virtual concert and a voters rally for the upcoming Georgia Senate runoff, which is so important. So Christmas night, the Jingle Jam, radioonfire.com, also on YouTube. YouTube.com/Radio on Fire, YouTube.com/DJ Diamond K. On Instagram, on Radio on Fire's Instagram, Diamond K's show Instagram, Facebook. It's going to be everywhere, our social channels, and also Radio on Fire, the Jingle Jam. Very excited about that. We're going to be talking about voting, the importance of voting. Your vote still matters. The election is almost over, but it's not over in Georgia because of this Senate runoff. So we need Ossoff and Warnock to become senators from Georgia. So this country can really pull in the right direction. So join us Christmas night, 6 p.m. right here, radioonfire.com. It's been real. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow.
As a mom, I have to talk to my son about the way he carries himself, the way he talks, the way he walks, making sure that he doesn't put his hood on his head. Someone may see him as a threat just because of the color of his skin. They don't know that he's a straight A and B student. They don't know that he loves to help his little sister. Instead of college talk, we're talking about coming home alive. The most important thing that we can do is to get out and vote. Jon Ossoff is going to fight for a new Civil Rights Act to stop police brutality and racial profiling. We need Jon Ossoff in the Senate. When I say he's not a typical candidate, he's not. He really cares about people. Right now, we have the power to start making change. Early voting starts on December the 14th. Make sure you vote.
I'm Jon Ossoff, and I approve this message.
Raphael Warnock grew up in a house full of brothers and sisters. His parents taught him the value of hard work, like me.
Like me, he was first in his family to graduate from college and went on to earn a PhD.
He thinks insurance companies should not be allowed to discriminate against people with pre-existing conditions, like me.
Like me, Reverend Warnock knows that both parties in Washington could use some moral leadership.
I'm Raphael Warnock, and I approve this message because it's time we had a senator who put Georgians first, like me.